For just a few terrifying seconds, the future of heavyweight boxing nearly changed forever. The crowd inside Wembley Stadium exploded with noise as one punch sent a young Muhammad Ali crashing backward across the ring. His legs collapsed. His eyes looked stunned. And suddenly, the loud young American who called himself the greatest appeared helpless. The man who delivered that punch was Britain's beloved heavyweight warrior, Henry Cooper. A left hook so powerful it became legendary. A punch many people still believe came within seconds of changing boxing history forever, because if the bell had not rung exactly when it did, Muhammad Ali's career might have ended before it truly began. But what happened next created one of the most controversial moments in boxing history. A damaged glove, extra recovery time, angry British fans, and a comeback that turned a young Cassius Clay into a global superstar. This is the full story of Muhammad Ali versus Henry Cooper. Before the world knew him as Muhammad Ali, he fought under the name Cassius Clay. Young, handsome, fast, and unbelievably confident. By 1963, Clay had already become one of the most talked-about fighters in boxing. Fans had never seen anything like him. Heavyweights were supposed to fight with brute force, serious expressions, traditional styles. But Clay moved differently. He danced around the ring, dropped his hands carelessly, talked constantly during fights, and predicted victories before they happened. Many older boxing experts hated him immediately. They viewed him as arrogant and disrespectful. But younger fans loved the excitement. And most importantly, the kid kept winning. Every fight increased Clay's popularity and confidence. Still, critics continued asking the same question. Could he handle real heavyweight power? Because flashy movement and confidence meant nothing if one clean punch could destroy everything. That question followed him directly into England against Henry Cooper. In Britain, Henry Cooper was far more than just a boxer. He was a national hero. Tough, respectful, hard-working. Everything British boxing fans admired. Unlike Clay, Cooper carried himself quietly. No wild predictions. No flashy behavior. Only discipline and toughness. But what truly made Cooper dangerous was his legendary left hook. Many people considered it one of the most powerful punches in heavyweight boxing. They even gave it a nickname, Henry's Hammer. One clean left hook from Henry Cooper could change any fight instantly. And British fans believed deeply in their champion. When the fight against Cassius Clay was announced, excitement exploded across England, because many people desperately wanted somebody to humble the loud American star. Henry Cooper became the hope that, as always, Cassius Clay dominated headlines before the fight even began. The moment he arrived in England, reporters followed him everywhere. Fans crowded around him constantly, and Clay loved every second of the attention. He joked during interviews, predicted victory, mocked Cooper openly. At one point, Clay even called Cooper an easy target. British fans hated hearing that. To them, Henry Cooper represented pride and toughness. Clay represented arrogance. The tension grew larger every day before the fight. Meanwhile, Cooper trained quietly and seriously. He understood the challenge ahead clearly. Clay possessed incredible speed, maybe the fastest heavyweight he had ever seen. But Cooper believed one thing strongly. Nobody could avoid punches forever. And if he landed his famous left hook cleanly, anything could happen. The fight took place on June 18, 1963, at Wembley Stadium in London. More than 55,000 fans packed the arena. The atmosphere felt electric long before the opening bell. British fans desperately wanted Henry Cooper to win. Meanwhile, curiosity surrounded Cassius Clay everywhere he moved. Was he truly as good as he claimed? Or was this finally the night somebody exposed him? Then Clay entered the stadium. The crowd reacted loudly. Some cheered, many booed, but nobody ignored him. Clay moved toward the ring confidently, smiling and talking constantly. Then came Henry Cooper. The British crowd exploded with support immediately. The atmosphere shook with emotion. This was not just a boxing match anymore. It felt personal. As both fighters stepped into the ring, tension filled Wembley Stadium. The referee delivered final instructions. The fighters touched gloves. Then the bell rang. Round 1. Cassius Clay started exactly as expected. Fast. Very fast. From the opening seconds, he danced around Cooper while firing sharp jabs. The speed difference shocked many fans immediately. Clay's movement looked almost impossible for heavyweights. Meanwhile, Cooper pressed forward patiently. The British fighter understood chasing Clay recklessly could become dangerous. So instead, Cooper waited carefully for opportunities. Clay entertained the crowd constantly during the round, talking during exchanges, pulling away dramatically from punches, smiling confidently. Some fans booed loudly. Others watched in amazement. Near the end of the round, Clay landed several quick combinations that excited the audience. The opening round clearly favored the young American. Still, Cooper remained calm. He had not landed the left hook yet. Round 2. As round 2 began, Clay looked increasingly confident. Now, he started putting on a real show. His feet moved effortlessly around the ring. Jabs snapped Cooper's head backward repeatedly. The British crowd grew frustrated seeing their hero struggle with Clay's speed. But Cooper continued moving forward patiently. The veteran heavyweight understood something important. Eventually, Clay might get careless. And careless fighters become vulnerable. Midway through the round, Cooper managed landing several body punches during close exchanges. The crowd roared loudly. Clay answered immediately with combinations upstairs. Still, Cooper's pressure slowly started creating tension, because every time he moved closer, fans waited nervously for the left hook. Late in the round, Clay landed another beautiful combination that excited the audience. Yet Cooper remained determined. The fight still felt dangerous. Round 3. The third round became rougher physically. Cooper increased pressure aggressively now. Instead of waiting patiently, he pushed forward harder during exchanges. Clay still landed faster punches, but Cooper's physical strength created uncomfortable moments. At several points, the British heavyweight trapped Clay briefly near the ropes. The crowd exploded every time. Suddenly, Wembley Stadium felt alive emotionally. Clay responded by moving even faster. The young American danced away from danger while firing combinations constantly. Still, Cooper's confidence continued growing because, unlike some opponents, he refused feeling intimidated. Near the end of the round, Cooper landed a harder body shot that visibly affected Clay slightly. The audience roared wildly. Momentum still favored Clay overall, but tension had increased dramatically. Round 4. Round 4 became one of the most important rounds of young Cassius Clay's entire career. The opening minutes looked normal at first. Clay continued moving beautifully, while landing sharp jabs and combinations. Cooper kept pressing forward bravely. Then suddenly, everything changed. With only seconds remaining in the round, Henry Cooper finally landed it. The left hook, the legendary punch, exploded against Clay's jaw perfectly. The impact looked terrifying. Cassius Clay staggered backward violently. His legs nearly collapsed. The crowd inside Wembley Stadium erupted into complete chaos. For the first time in the fight, Clay looked seriously hurt, very seriously hurt. Cooper attacked aggressively immediately afterward. Clay stumbled backward, desperately trying to survive. And then the bell rang. The timing saved him, because another few seconds might have changed heavyweight history forever. Clay returned to his corner dazed while British fans screamed with excitement throughout the stadium. Henry Cooper had nearly knocked out the future Muhammad Ali. What happened next became one of boxing's most controversial moments. As Clay sat in his corner recovering, his team discovered one of his gloves had torn. The damage created confusion. Officials searched desperately for replacement gloves. Meanwhile, extra time passed between rounds. Much more time than normal. British fans became furious immediately. Many believe the delay gave Clay precious additional seconds to recover from Cooper's left hook. Even decades later, debate continues surrounding that moment. Did the damaged glove save Cassius Clay? Would Henry Cooper have finished him without the extra recovery time? Nobody can answer with certainty. But one thing remains undeniable. Clay looked badly hurt, and the delay changed the atmosphere completely. Round 5. When round 5 finally began, Cassius Clay looked completely different. The playful, smiling disappeared instantly. Now he fought with sharp focus, total seriousness. The near knockout had awakened him fully. Clay attacked aggressively from the opening seconds. Fast jabs snapped Cooper's head backward repeatedly. Combinations exploded nonstop. The British crowd suddenly grew quieter, because now Clay looked dangerous again. Very dangerous. Meanwhile, Cooper continued moving forward bravely despite the punishment. But the energy from the previous round had shifted. Clay's survival seemed to strengthen him mentally. Midway through the round, the young American landed several sharp combinations that visibly hurt Cooper. The crowd reacted nervously. Momentum had changed completely. Round 6. By round 6, Cassius Clay looked unstoppable again. The speed difference became overwhelming. Cooper still fought courageously, but the punishment continued building rapidly. Clay's jab dominated exchanges completely now. Every time Cooper moved forward, fast combinations met him immediately. The British heavyweight's face began showing damage. Cuts opened. Swelling appeared. Still, Cooper refused surrender. The crowd admired his courage deeply. At one point during the round, Clay unleashed a rapid combination that forced Cooper backward across the ring. Fans reacted loudly. Commentators praised Clay's recovery constantly. Because many fighters collapsed mentally after nearly getting knocked out, Clay responded by becoming more focused and dangerous. Round 7. As round 7 began, Henry Cooper's face looked badly damaged. Cuts around his eyes worsened continuously. Meanwhile, Cassius Clay appeared fully energized again. The young American moved around the ring with supreme confidence. But now there was something different about him. Respect. The near knockout changed his attitude toward Cooper completely. Clay no longer treated the fight like entertainment. Now it felt like survival. Midway through the round, Clay landed another devastating combination that forced Cooper backward. The referee watched closely. Blood poured heavily from Cooper's cuts now. Still, the British fighter kept trying bravely. Every punch he threw carried hope for another miracle left hook. But Clay's movement remained too sharp now, too careful, too disciplined. Round 8, the end. By round 8, the fight had become brutal. Henry Cooper's cuts looked severe. Cassius Clay attacked aggressively from the opening bell, sensing the ending approaching. Fast punches exploded repeatedly. Lefts, rights, hooks, sharp jabs. Everything landed cleanly. Cooper tried fighting back courageously, but the damage became overwhelming. Blood covered his face heavily. The referee examined Cooper carefully during exchanges. Then finally, after another barrage of punches opened the cuts even worse, the fight was stopped. Cassius Clay raised his gloves high, while the crowd reacted with mixed emotions. Some cheered loudly, others booed angrily, because despite the stoppage victory, everybody inside Wembley Stadium remembered one thing. Henry Cooper nearly knocked Cassius Clay unconscious. Following the stoppage, controversy exploded everywhere. British fans believed Cooper deserved another chance. Many argued the damaged glove incident saved Clay from defeat. Newspapers discussed a fourth-round knockdown endlessly. Meanwhile, Cassius Clay celebrated the victory confidently. But privately, the fight likely changed him deeply, because for one terrifying moment, he came extremely close to losing everything. Still, Clay showed remarkable resilience afterward. Instead of collapsing mentally, he recovered and dominated the remaining rounds. That ability separated future legends from ordinary fighters. Today, Muhammad Ali versus Henry Cooper remains one of the most important fights of Ali's early career. Not because he dominated, but because he survived. The fight revealed vulnerability for the first time publicly. Critics finally saw proof that Clay could be hurt badly, but they also discovered something equally important. He could recover, adapt, and fight through danger. Those qualities later defined Ali's greatest moments. Only months after defeating Henry Cooper, Cassius Clay shocked the world by defeating Sonny Liston and becoming heavyweight champion. Soon afterward, he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And eventually, he became one of the most famous athletes in human history. But looking back now, many historians believe the Cooper fight became a turning point emotionally, because it forced young Clay to understand heavyweight boxing's brutal reality. One punch changes everything, even for future legends. Henry Cooper's place in history. Although Henry Cooper never became world heavyweight champion, his name remains permanently connected to Muhammad Ali's story, because history remembers moments. And Cooper created one unforgettable moment, the left hook that nearly destroyed a future legend. Even decades later, boxing fans still debate what might have happened without the bell or the damaged glove delay. That mystery keeps the fight alive historically. And for British boxing fans, Henry Cooper remains a heroic figure forever. The rematch. Years later, Muhammad Ali and Henry Cooper fought again in 1966. By then, Ali had become heavyweight champion and a global superstar. This time, Ali dominated more clearly and stopped Cooper earlier. But despite the rematch result, boxing fans never forgot the original fight at Wembley Stadium, because the first battle carried something special: drama, danger, and one unforgettable left hook. The human side of Muhammad Ali. One reason Muhammad Ali became more than just a champion was his vulnerability. Fans witnessed greatness, but they also witnessed danger and recovery. Against Henry Cooper, Ali looked human, scared, hurt, close to disaster. Yet somehow, he survived and came back stronger. That emotional journey connected people deeply to him, because greatness becomes more meaningful when it survives adversity. The final image of the night. As fans slowly left Wembley Stadium that night, one image stayed inside their minds. Cassius Clay stumbling backward after Henry Cooper's left hook. For one brief moment, the future looked uncertain. The loud young American nearly lost everything. Yet by the end of the fight, Clay stood victorious once again. The future heavyweight king survived the biggest scare of his early career, and boxing history moved forward forever changed. Conclusion. Muhammad Ali versus Henry Cooper became far more than a boxing match. It became one of the most dramatic turning points in heavyweight history. A fight where a young future legend nearly fell before reaching greatness. Henry Cooper entered Wembley Stadium carrying Britain's hopes and one terrifying left hook. And in round 4, he delivered the punch that nearly changed everything forever. Cassius Clay looked hurt, lost, moments away from disaster. But somehow, the bell rang. The damaged glove created controversy. Extra recovery time changed the atmosphere. And the young American returned stronger than before. Years later, the world would know him as Muhammad Ali, the greatest. But before the championships, before global fame, before immortality, Muhammad Ali survived Henry Cooper's left hook. And boxing history was never the same again.